Hi guys, this is Daisy. Hi guys, this is Daisy.
Hi, y'all, this is
Extremely
Daisy, and I'm
positive is
trying
my
to
normal
do this
like
before I
baseline.
start playing this
So
video,
I'm still really upset about the
sure.
attacks. I still wake up in the middle of the night.
So this
I
is
still
a
have to
video
film
that
things. I still cry sometimes. So
it's the second
y'all just
part
understand
of
that
the
even though I might
editing
sound
video,
super
and I'm
happy, I'm
trying to
not necessarily
understand
super happy. It's just kind of
what all was
a masking
happening
thing I do,
because
okay?
I realized that some of it may have to
This is
do
my video, and so
with families
and the
from
way
my
it comes
old town.
out is I get a little edgy. I might say some things I don't mean. I might go a little too far.
The idea of a
it's all
suppressed
because of the
person
attack, and I'm sorry
came
about
to
that.
me. I don't really believe in such
I really want to
things,
make
but I
sure
have
that this is good
herself,
content for y'all. Like
and
interesting.
I know that
This is just a
I'm
mind
not
map
the kind
for
of
another
person that
project.
usually would be considered to be a suppressed person. I'm straight. I live alone. I don't date around. I'm not a prostitute. I don't have any reason for bad coding. I'm not
Hi guys,
considered to be a bad person, but I do have.
Hi guys, this is Daisy Cakes. Extremely positive is my normal.
I do have
like baseline.
I do have
I'm still really upset about the attacks. I still wake up in the middle of the night.
Information about my past.
I still have to film.
My dad was very high up in the Air Force. He was.
Y'all just understand that even though I might sound super happy, I'm not necessarily super happy. It's
he
just
was
kind of
one of the original members of USAA. He was friends with the guy
This is my video, and so and the way it comes out is I get a little edgy. I might say some things I don't mean. I might go a little too far. 40, but it's all because of the attack, and I'm sorry about that. I'm working on it.
Wasn't a pilot.
I really want to make sure that this is good content for y'all. Interesting.
He was very successful.
This is just a mind map for another project.
He did computer science way back then, and he also did some work for the FBI, and then also for the CIA in Korea. He was in the Korean War. He was in the Vietnam War, and he worked closely with a lot of people that are very popular today. But he was born in 1930. His dad was killed over Poland in World War II. He was a flight surgeon, a doctor on a plane flying to take care of people who had been prisoners. And my dad also did a lot of work taking prisoners out of Vietnam. One of the prisoners was out of Vietnam. So he was a really good guy, but he engendered, he was a tall 6'1", redhead with green eyes and feathers. And he married my mom, who's one half a woman of color, way back before that was ever considered to be a popular thing to do. They got married in 1952, and they were fairly happy for a long time. But
I'm not sure why it does this, yeah.
That was not considered to be a popular thing to do back then, but he still remained friends with everyone.
He was in a year to find it here.
Psi fraternity. My mom was a Pi Phi, and they really got along great. And they were very outgoing social people, just like me. And they had a lot of fun, a lot of parties. My mom could put together parties.
We don't really know
in like 30 minutes because she always knew who to call. And I could go on and on about my childhood, okay? But I don't know what is wrong with this thing. Y'all, someone's edited this video too. Oh my goodness. Now I can't get them to stop editing my stuff, and it's illegal to edit my creative work.
I would put up all of those.
Okay?
I put a sign saying I fired.
To do that.
You are not needed.
I have to remake this whole video from scratch
to do the following, and I would list them.
But I don't mind doing it because I'm not frustrated. I'm just saying it's very
respectful.
unfortunate.
The first time I wasn't respectful, and I started noticing like reactions from the Spanish
people. It's like the internet security of a bus
station. So I ran and I looked in 5 minutes, So I ran and looked at my signs, and I was like, so I took them all down. I had said like a familiar.
Every time I go to check my modem, it says there's another device logged in. Do you want to log them off now? And I am the only person that I bought this modem. It's my modem. There's nobody else that's supposed to be logged into it ever. And I had to get a new modem because someone would not get off of it the last time.
Oh, so there was a backlash.
So it's something to do with someone here that's
they would
trying
send
to
drug dogs in, but
steal
instead
information or gather information or
just
something.
Looking at my clothes, they would tear them up.
Something like that.
The t-shirts and the sweatshirts.
So because they're also deleting my videos off YouTube and trying to be
would definitely be ripped up.
Just an
those
app,
were ones I loved from.
But they're also calling themselves a police officer,
and they
which is really frustrating.
Send dogs in to try to eat the food out of the trash, even though I didn't really have a lot of trash at that time. And it was quite.
Anyway, so my dad was very
very
popular
sad.
and very
And I
powerful
don't know why
on the
people did
base.
all those things.
He had a
But
real chance to
they
become a
weren't
general.
getting paid to
Their
help
general
with
there
things.
was
It
also,
wasn't like a
however,
ward of the
almost
state or
his
social
age,
worker case
and they
where
knew each
I
other.
wasn't giving
And
people nursing hours.
we lived on the same street as
Here, it's just in my
as they did when they
apartment.
retired. Okay, they
I'm a
moved to our
nice
street when they
middle-aged woman. I live
retired,
alone. I was just
and
living independently.
they always got
I don't
along
need
really well.
adult protective
And the
services or
woman,
anything
the
like
wife
that.
was really nice. They just
And,
died not too long ago,
I
actually,
wasn't
both of
paying
them.
but they would then
And
steal
I
groceries
always
that
felt
they
really
would just
lucky
pay
to know them.
themselves.
But
It was like a vicious cycle. But I didn't even know that's what
I
they would do.
don't even know what to
Because I
say
literally
really.
never,
Okay,
no
but
one ever
there's
conversed
guys
with
that
me
had to
about
salute my
doing any
dad,
of those things.
right?
I would
That
just
lived,
wake
we
up and
lived
come
off
home
of
where they would be
base. We
dead.
lived
I mean,
in
it's insane.
off base housing in
So
a
I would
nice
keep changing
neighborhood. That was
the key.
we
I
lived
would
in a
change it
model
like 20
home in this
times.
neighborhood
Said
when it
20
was
times
built,
in
and
the last year alone. Okay.
there were a lot
And
of guys
so,
that
or
lived near
2
us
years, I
that
guess, that
were
happened.
working for
And
my
sometimes they
dad,
would
but
change the
because of
key to the
family
make
money or
ready
because
key,
of, you know,
which is the key that
other
they use
circumstances, their
to
wives'
prepare
jobs or whatever,
apartments for rent,
they were able
right?
to afford the
And
same lifestyle, which is wonderful.
the work
No
people
one,
have
no
those
one
keys,
begrudges anybody
and
any of
also
that,
anyone
right?
who's delivering
So
has those keys, and also it's in the office.
they were not very
So it was very
amenable
insecure.
to
Like,
saluting my
think
dad all the
20
time.
people
They didn't have to do it
would
off
keep my
base, of
apartment.
course. But I mean, you know, on base,
And
they were
I
very
didn't
sort of,
do
some of
anything or
them,
request
like
that
maybe
either. Like, I
5%
wasn't,
of them, it's
didn't
not a whole
know
lot of
that
people
was
really,
happening.
were kind of unpleasant
But
and
when I worked
difficult.
here, I had a make ready key of
And
my own, but I never used it except for
they
to go
usually
in their
took out
apartments
their
that were vacant.
feelings on me
So I'm
because
not
I
really
was
sure
born when my
why
parents were in their
everyone was coming in
40s.
and out of my apartment
And like
so
I said,
much,
I'm
but they were
1/4
trying, I
black,
guess,
but
to
I didn't know
force
it
me
then.
to go,
And
or
I'm
they
a
were getting
pale,
ready, they
pale
were getting
skinned
stuff for
redhead,
the
as you can
second
see from the
apartment.
pictures.
Like it
And
was
I
a Walmart.
have
Like my apartment was Walmart or Target, basically,
brown eyes,
is what they were doing.
like
If
my
they
mom,
wanted something,
red
they
hair
would
like
just
my
take it.
dad, and I'm
And
5'5",
my
I'm not very
Wi-Fi would
tall,
keep getting
and I was
reset,
very
and my
tiny
modem
back then, so
was
I only
always
weighed
hacked.
I weighed,
It's
I was
still
probably in the
hacked today,
20th percentile of
but
weight
it's
for
doing a
most of my
little
life
better.
until I had kids.
At least I have something on
So
my device now that
I was
says
not
someone else
very
is logged
big,
onto your
and
modem.
people would pick on me
Do you
sometimes,
want
but I'm
to
very outgoing
reset
and I was
it
very
now?
popular.
But
I was
before I didn't even
intelligent,
have
and
that,
I
and I
was
shouldn't
score
have
was
it.
very
And
high
also my
achiever,
modem is so
and I didn't
crazy
really worry
that I
about it too
can't get them
much.
off for
But
some
I did
reason.
get
So
picked on by some of the girls whose dads
now
worked
that's
for
just a little
my
fill-in on
dad in school.
why I say, intimidation and
And it put me in
extortion.
a
So
lot
I'm
of
not
really
joking.
difficult,
I
uncomfortable
was treated
situations because
basically
of
like
that, but I
trash,
learned how to handle them when I
and
was
all I
very
did
young.
was work here.
And so by the time I was in high
So
school, I didn't really
and I was
notice so
paying my
much.
rent, and I was living my life.
But
It's very interesting.
so I was
And
in
I'm
the
not
Order of the
odd
Eastern
even at all.
Star, I
I
was
don't
in the
even
Rainbow
look odd. You
Girls,
can see
I
my
was
pictures
in
on the thing. I don't
I'm
look
in
like a crazy
recovery, I'm an
person. I'm
AA
an
and
honest person
Al-Anon.
whatsoever.
I mean, I have
So
2 daughters, they
anyway, very
graduated
interesting. Not
college,
that those people
they
should
both
get
have children, they're
harassed or
very high
anything, but I
achievers
mean,
themselves. I
you
mean,
don't
we're
want
not
some
bad
certain
people,
kinds of
really.
people
I'm
living
not
in
an
your apartment
atheist by any
complexes. I guess
means. I'm just
everyone
not religious.
might
I
feel
don't
that way in
I don't go
small
to a
towns,
church.
but I
My
don't feel that way
higher
about
power
anybody.
is from the
And
program
I
of
don't
Alcoholics Anonymous,
represent
and I
those
really feel very
populations, so
strongly that
I'm
that
not really
works
sure
for
how
me.
that was.
And I don't.
I am one
It's
quarter
very
black,
similar to what
so
the Christian
there is
God would
that.
be. It's
But
not
anyway,
any
just
different. I sing all the same songs. I know all the
just
verses.
explaining to you what's going
I've
on, what was going on at this time.
I don't know. There's
And
just
this
so many
is just
things. I used to play
this year,
French horn.
these last 2
I was
years.
very high
But
achieving in the
that's what's
French
been
horn
going on the
area,
last
and
2
my
years.
daughter also picked that up. My other daughter plays bassoon. They both ride. One of them rides
That's what I
equestrian,
forgot to
plays
tell
golf,
you. So,
and the other one
my apartment has a cooktop,
was
right? Well, this
into
nice guy
dance
came
and
in to install
cosmetology
it,
type things,
and he put it in the wrong
and
place.
she's
My
a stay-at-home
cooktop, he
mom
put it
now
next
for
to my sink,
her
and it's supposed to
husband,
be
who's an
next to the
army
fridge
band
because there's an
musician.
outlet there.
Like my
And so
ex-husband
it's
was in
never
the army. I was
worked.
an army wife
It's
for a
never been
while,
plugged in.
and I don't know. There's
And
just so many things, y'all. Like that I
I've
did that
really
were really
asked
good
them
that I
several
enjoyed, but
times
I
to
don't
do that,
have to
and
prove
they just
myself to
refuse.
anyone, because if you
And
meet
so
me,
I
you
thought they
can
may have
tell that
been
I'm
preparing it to
I'm
a
a
kid's
good
apartment,
person,
like preparing it
basically.
to be an old person or a
But this
child's
story is going to be
apartment
me trying to
because it's a
explain.
flat top cooktop,
But there was
and you don't
one
really
family
want
in
to have
particular
kids,
that had it out for my
in an
dad,
apartment
and
by
they were very
themselves, like a kid's
powerful in the
room kind
town
of thing.
next to us.
But then it does have an outside door, although they
And
could
a
make
lot
an
of these
inside door.
people come from that town.
So the rumor was that they were trying to turn my room into a 2-bedroom
and it's possible that this goes back to that somehow. I'm
it's
not
actually
really
much
sure
more functional as a studio.
why that would be, but
So,
some of these
because you
people
don't
that
really
moved
want
up here, they
anyone
moved
living in
300
this room
miles to bug me.
It's
So
not an
they
adult
must be
because it's right next to the
either
stairs.
mental. They are obviously
And it's on
mentally
the
ill,
second
but they
floor,
must have
and there's
also
a big
some other
balcony and
problems.
everything.
But
So
nothing
you
with
don't
me directly
necessarily
is the
want
thing.
kids running
Because
down
remember,
the
I
stairs.
might
Kids could
never
go
have known
outside and run
about
down the
this
stairs and
apartment.
be gone. before you
Ever.
would even know, and you can't even see.
I don't
the
have any
first floor
reason to
from
go
here,
look at people's apartments.
so you would not know where
and I
they
had
were at
no
all.
clue that something that
It's
the
not really
stolen
safe
things
to put
wouldn't go
kids in
very
this
far.
on this
So
three
I'm not
set
really
of
sure
apartments.
what that would be.
So that wasn't true. They were just sort of saying these things, I guess. And my air conditioner is stuck on 80.
But I'm not a suppressed person, okay? They're forcing me into that life without having any reason to do so. And because they only limit people to come to the apartments, they only let certain, like 3 or 4 people come to the apartments to deliver things to me. And they want to examine my mail and my packages and my deliveries and talk to people and, skim off of them and stuff. It creates the impression for other people that I'm a suppressed person. So then they walk away with that impression. And that to me is a problem because I don't really deserve that. I'm just trying to work from home right now.
When?
Because I do have an immune deficiency from birth.
The heat.
So with corona, and the only reason that's a problem is coronavirus. Normally, I operate normally in the world. Okay, so back to this. Oh, and you should know that this involves physical intimidation. That I've got, I was attacked twice, and also inside my apartment when I was just minding my own business, and from someone that had a key. Okay. One of these families from my old town that had a key to my apartment, which I had just gotten changed a few months before, like in June or July. And these people are known for killing animals to try to intimidate people in front of them. And the one guy usually chooses black and white animals, which is offensive, I guess. I don't know if it's supposed to be a skin color thing, but the poor animals anyway don't really deserve that. And I've just been through a lot of things with these people. And when I saw that face coming towards me, and I recognized it as being from one of these families, I thought I could die here today, in the middle of just a normal day, and it wouldn't have looked any different to the video. I wouldn't have had any other experience because when I hit the ground, I didn't black out, but I certainly was unconscious from the drugs that they gave me. If they had given me too much of something, that would have been the end for me. And they had a key to my apartment, which is so ridiculous because I keep my key on me all the time. I don't ever let it out of my sight. It's never away from me. So they got it from the office, from M or C or S or someone else. But this is something that they've had for a long time. They probably have a skeleton key from one of the people that had a master key before, is my guess. But anyway, the point is, this is a big deal. It's not a little deal. My modem is not ever unoccupied by another person, which is not okay. I never agreed to that. I even specified in my lease this time that I wanted independent internet and independent control of my work. People have been deleting my videos off of YouTube, which is illegal. It's just not okay. So anyway, I'm trying not to be frustrated because I'm a very happy, positive person. And usually that's what drives people nuts. So I'm not used to whatever this is driving people nuts. But let's see if I can tell you the story as we go.
Do you want to reset it now? But before I didn't even have that. And I shouldn't have anybody else on my modem. It's so crazy. But I can't get them off for some reason. So yeah, that's just a little fill-in on why I say, intimidation and extortion is I'm not joking. I was treated basically like trash. And all I did was work here. So, and I was paying my rent. And I was living my life. It's very interesting. And I'm not odd even at all.
Okay, I wanted to tell you that one of the things that they would do is they would send drug dogs into my room when I was sleeping to sniff around in my room, which is illegal because I'm not doing anything that would lead them to suspect that I had drugs. They would go through my trash for bottles and aluminum cans when I was sleeping. They would come in and eat food from my fridge. They would do things like clean my apartment without me asking them, and then take things as payment, which I wasn't asking them to do in the first place. They would put cayenne pepper in my cat's food, which is not For dogs, I've heard people do that before, but to scare away pests from the outdoor dog's food. But for my pet, that would be very dangerous for him, and he got very sick. And they would also put pesticide in his food to try to use it for bait. But they would take a bag of his food and steal it, and then put pesticide in it, I assume, to use it for bait in the apartments. And then they would accidentally, I hope, bring it back and put it back in my fridge because he likes a certain brand of food, so I wouldn't know the difference. So I learned how to smell his food to see if it smelled like pesticide. And I even had to start tasting a couple bites of his food to see if it would taste or make me sick to my stomach. Because sometimes it would be spoiled because they would trade out old food for new food. And they took off all my outlets. They stole one of every one of my shoes. So I had one of every 2 pairs of shoes. One out of every 2 shoes that I had. And I have shoes that I used to wear when I was homeless. I walk everywhere, okay, because I was saving up to buy a car until they started stealing from me. And I had shoes that I melted by walking so much. They would melt in the asphalt in the heat. And I was so proud of myself for being able to hold down a full-time job for so long while walking back and forth in all weather, like heat, rain, cold, snow, ice, people splashing you as they drive by. And so I kept all these things, and they stole one out of every single one of those shoes, even the ones with holes in them. They were like my recovery moccasins. So when I say I was treated like trash, that's what I mean. I don't mean the working conditions. I mean sleeping and waking up and having a drug dog eating your t-shirts. And I've never had drugs in my room, y'all. So it's really upsetting. I would wake up and I would find people crouched next to my bed trying to get on my Wi-Fi because they wanted to hook up to download porn or something. And they would literally be inside my apartment pressing the WPS button to try to log on. I would wake up and find iPhone chargers plugged into outlets in my room when they were charging their own iPhone in my room. I guess I'm a deep sleeper. I used to be a sleepwalker, but none of this is my stuff. And I had sirens on my door. I had all kinds of things on my door, but they don't work if you have a key, is the thing. So these people had keys to my apartment. And my internet I would get viruses, there would be all kinds of problems. But it was still a great place to live because the apartment is so nice. I love my apartment. The situation is very pleasant. But the people are very what would you call it? The guys I used to work for, S, C, and M, are very, they look down on me, and they treated me like trash, and I'm not trash. And it's okay to be, and I'm not the kind of person that thinks I deserve good treatment either. But, it was really bad. And now they're treating me like a suppressed person when I've never done anything to be a suppressed person. I understand the concept. I've never put down the police or the fire department ever in my life. Ever. I've never done or said anything terrible. I've never gone against the government in any significant way. I'm a conservative. Some people don't like that. I'm, not religious, but I'm not against religion. I still go to church with my daughters if they want to go. I don't say, bad things again. I'm not a heretic. I still believe in something approximating the Christian God. I just call it my higher power. But it's the same thing, basically. And I'm a good example of an AA person. And I'm a good example of an Al-Anon. I don't know what would be their problem with me. I really don't. But someone out there is blaming me for their crap. That's my only guess. And I can't imagine what crap that is that's happening. Because they must have done something really awful to be treated this way. So let's see.
I don't even look odd. You can see my pictures on the thing. I don't look like a crazy person or an odd person whatsoever. So anyway, very interesting. Not that those people should get harassed or anything, but I mean, you don't want some certain kinds of people living in your apartment complexes. I guess everyone might feel that way in small towns, but I don't feel that way about anybody. And I don't represent those populations, so I'm not really sure what all that was. I am 1/4 black though, so there is that. But anyway, just saying. Just explaining to you what's going on, or what was going on at this time. And this is just this year, these last 2 years. But that's what's been going on the last 2 years.
We also don't know if their apartment is mostly for kids or if it's for kids
and
adults.
Oh, that's what I forgot to tell you. So, my apartment has a cooktop, right? Well, this nice guy came in to install it, and he put it in the wrong place, my cooktop. He put it next to my sink when it's supposed to be next to the fridge because there's an outlet there. And so it's never worked. It's never been plugged in. And I've really asked them several times to do that. They just refuse.
But the helpful thing is that it's in the right place in the fake apartment. So that's the difference that you can see in a lot of the pictures between their apartment and my apartment. And it's a large reason why they don't film in the kitchen anymore, which is kind of funny.
And so I thought they may be preparing it to a kid's apartment, like preparing it to be an old person or a child's apartment, because it's a flat top cooktop, and you don't really want to have kids, in an apartment by themselves, like a kid's room kind of thing. But then it does have an outside door, although they could make an inside door. So the rumor was that they were trying to turn my room into a 2-bedroom apartment, but it's actually much more functional as a studio. So, because you don't really want anyone living in this room that's not an adult, because it's right next to the stairs and it's on the 2nd floor and there's a big balcony and everything. And so you don't necessarily want kids running down the stairs. Kids could go outside and run down the stairs and be gone before you would even know. And you can't even see the 1st floor from here, so you would not know where they were at all. It's not really safe to put kids in this 3 set of apartments. So that wasn't true. They were just sort of saying these things, I guess. And my air conditioner is stuck on 81, and the heat is on 81 and the air conditioner is on 81, which is actually not too bad for me, but it used to work so well, y'all. And so it makes me sad because I haven't really done anything to change their opinion of me except for continue to live here. So, but that's 2 different things. These families from the old town have brought drama. Perhaps that's what the apartment complex doesn't like. But I don't have to change because I was here before, and I was here before almost all of these people, and I don't have to do anything different. I'm not treating them badly. I'm not being rude to them. I'm not like disobeying the laws of the complex or anything like that. I love it here. Like, I literally love my life. I love it. So the only thing I could use is a salary, but other than that, it's great. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
It seems to be for adults and a little family like that. But that doesn't mean that we should be empathetic to them, because that's a crazy thing to do, to try to duplicate someone's apartment with their stolen thing.
It is a crazy thing to do, though. I can't even imagine someone wanting to put, like, I have a weird arrangement of furniture in my apartment, and they duplicated it. I can't imagine wanting to duplicate where I put my furniture, even if they wanted the same furniture. It just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so the brighting, I don't understand. I just thought that's what you call it. I'm not really sure what it's called, but it was from one woman. It wasn't from a whole bunch of people. So, and it's not from the police. Unless the police have heard bad things about me, like smear tactics. Other than that, I don't know what that would be. So, I don't really put down Nacogdoches. I like Nacogdoches.
I should say that, as far as I know, everything's fine. But these 3 families are treating me like the worst person on earth and attacking me. And before, they were killing pets in front of me, trying to get me to move, It's like it seems like they just kind of show up and try to get me to move. But I'm not sure who's paying their rents or their way or why they're doing that. There isn't any other place for me to go. This is my home as far as I'm concerned. And I don't know where else they would want me to move to or why they don't live where they used to live anymore. And I think I was going to say that I was trying to understand like why my family used to live in this community called Kyle, Texas, right? And that's where all these people are kind of generally sort of are from. And across, there's a highway. There's east side, west side, right? We were always east siders, hey, east siders. And on the west side, there's a community called Spring Branch. Now, my ex was having an affair with a woman, and she had a house in Spring Branch. Okay, she also lives in New Braunfels. She's a doctor, but she had a house in Spring Branch. So a lot of the people from my school lived near them and knew about them, but didn't tell me, which is fine. But anyway, but they did business together on the side, all of those people. And one of the people is related to the people that lived kitty corner from me across the street. And remember that person and the guy across the street from next door to me, across the street from him, were best friends. And that they both are here now in relation. At least there's relatives of theirs here now attacking me. And I don't know why. So it's very odd, y'all. But I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but it is possible to have a conspiracy, right? And there is a fair amount of evidence that it's a conspiracy. The problem is the money. There's several wealthy people in my acquaintance. My mother-in-law has money. My brother has money. This family friend I was telling you about that didn't like my dad has money. The other family friend I was telling you about that was really good friends with us has money. There are just so many people that could be funding this. But it would be nice to know who is funding it, because I feel like I'm being nice to someone that maybe I shouldn't be being nice to. Because it seems odd that they would come up here. One thing that happened that was odd was I told a friend of mine that I was doing a podcast, and I also posted the writing video. And those two things made someone come up here and attack me, even though I had changed my email, my phone number, my modem, my router. And something else I can't think of. And I had done all of that right before I got attacked. So when I talk about firing people and everything, just remember that's the main thing right there, okay? The main thing right there is that someone lost contact with me, stalking me. They lost contact. And they reacted by literally changing their entire life to come up here and make this mock apartment so they could pretend. Are they pretending to be married to me? Are they pretending to steal my identity? What are they doing? I don't know. This is my problem. But I'm not going to think about it all the time or make my channel about it, because I have other things to do. And I think that's kind of what they want, is like pull focus. But I know that the path to prosperity does not lie with these three people. These three families are evil to me. Not evil in a mystical way, but they're like denigratory to my life. So thinking about them can't possibly be a good thing. I can't protect myself from future attacks by occupying my brain with negativity. So I'm going to wrap all this up soon. Okay, it looks like the stalker.
And the fire department can also make.
This looks like the stalker is trying to make things less interesting to look at by changing the frames that I was using when I made this. I don't understand why they do that. But there was more than just a couple frames on here.
Or anything. But I mean, you don't want some certain kinds of people living in your apartment complexes, I guess.
I just mean in East Texas that happens sometimes, but rarely, a lot less than people think.
You don't really want anyone living in this room that's not an adult because it's right next to the stairs and it's on the second floor and there's a big balcony and everything. And so you don't necessarily want kids running down the stairs. Kids could go outside and run down the stairs and be gone before you would even know. And you can't even see the first floor from here. So you would not know where they were at all. It's not really safe to put kids in this 3 set of apartments. So that wasn't true. They were just sort of saying these things, I guess. And my air conditioner is stuck on 81 and the heat is on 81 and the air conditioner.
Here. Oh, did you see that? That's crazy. This thing doesn't really this thing jumps around to where it thinks it should be.
Used as a salary, but other than that, it's great.
Let's see. I'm not saying it's great. The physical apartments are great. They really are. They're nice apartments to live in. It's like a hidden gem.
Okay, so the brighting, like
I said, I don't really believe in that stuff. I think I played that for y'all.
And the fire department can also make people kind of nutty in small towns, but I don't really have anything to do with the fire department whatsoever. I met a lot of them in meetings and stuff, but I don't really have that. I don't know that much about it. I looked into being a firefighter when I first moved here. You have to go to school for like a month, and it's just sort of sitting in classes, and then you get to go do all the fun stuff after that, climb all the towers and, fly the helicopters or whatever. And that sounds great, but that wasn't for me, but I don't put people down.
Y'all, someone is doing this to me. I'm not doing that. Now I have to edit this video. I just don't understand why these guys are being so crappy at 1:42 in the morning. They literally just took over my device and started making it do all these things. And if you look here, it'll show you the accounts that are on here. And it's just my Gmail. So you go here and it should say manage your Google account. But it doesn't. So you click on this. And then you go back. And there it is. Isn't that weird? Tell me what you think about that. Because that to me seems like malware also. Because their whole thing is don't relax, at least in the apartment complex. I don't know who's doing it, but their whole thing seems to be don't relax, don't get comfortable, don't feel like you've accomplished anything, don't feel like you own anything, don't feel like you have anything. And it's very odd. So, I like Scientology. I'm not a Scientologist. My dad was kind of a Scientologist, actually. But he was a Scientologist back when it was, very brand new. And people weren't really, they weren't really, trying to analyze it too much. They were just doing what the book said to do. And I read the book when I was 12, and I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was, had the answer to everything or anything. But I don't really believe in suppressed people or excommunications, even though I know that happens to a lot of people because it gives people a feeling of power and control over other people. So that's why they like to do it. But let's see what's going on there. See, it looks like someone already deleted the day. See, this person, they're very mimetic. They like to have people show them what they know and then they do it. For example, someone's taught this person to duplicate frames of things. And so, I don't know why this is here. They've taught them how to reset the settings. They do that a lot. They've taught them how to click on delete the day for the activity history. It's all like very basic stuff. But they know how to do those things. So here, see how it starts on yesterday? And it's only 1:45 in the morning, so we're missing like over 2 hours. So they may have already gone through and clicked on, they learned how to click on these little X's. You know, it's weird. They know how to delete things, but they don't know how to add, like, use words. They only talk in very short, they don't really sound very intelligent when they speak on these tapes when they're talking instead of me. They sound, but their voice, they know how to make their voice sound like mine, but they don't really communicate like I do. And they, I forgot to tell you, one thing that they used to do was they would go through my clothes here at the apartments. Like, Em would go through my clothes and they would take out anything that they thought was like not appropriate wear for someone my age. And some of them were my girls, like the ones I liked, things of my daughters. And it's after my daughters left town. So it was very odd, like very controlling things. And I should have guessed it had something to do with the Spring Branch people but more of these families, really. It's just that they were related to teachers at my school, but not like I never saw them. I saw them following me around town, but a lot of people were paying attention to me back then because I was divorced and I was the right age for a lot of other divorced people that were moving in from Austin, and it was a nice time to live there, and I was very happy. But it wasn't like I didn't like them, so I didn't really care about whether they noticed me or not. I guess I wasn't trying to get their attention in any way, shape, or form. And that offended them. They got angry, and then they started acting out against me. One time I was in HEB in my old town, and this guy came up, and he just would stand next to me while I was getting milk out of the refrigerator. He would just stand, like he would be perpendicular to the refrigerator, looking at me, close enough so that I could smell his cologne and stuff. It was very weird, but he didn't really have any reason to talk to me, and he didn't live anywhere near me anymore. It was just really creepy. And so, but he could be even pretending to be married to me at this point, but he isn't. I'm not really sure what to think. But anyway, I was looking for malware. I don't see any at the moment. Let's see. Every time you refresh it, see? Is that weird? Like, what does it even mean? Okay. Let's see. I don't know why. If any of this stuff looks odd to you, let me know what it is. Now, why would they use that? I haven't used that today. Let's go see what that is. So, anyway, this is like a vlog. You know how people have home vlogs? This is like a stalking vlog, computer vlog. It's like a follow along at home kind of thing. And I always like to do those kinds of things. So this, I could see who's on right now. But I don't really get into my neighbor's stuff very much. This guy's always on. He might be the stalker. It's not these, because this is a different brand. But and this could be a different brand as well, but I mean, I know mine's not called this when it's on Bluetooth. So what I usually do is I change my thing, but don't read into anything I type. It's just gonna be random numbers. Okay. But anyway, see, when they wanted me to sue the school district a long time ago, because teachers that sue, no offense, I'm just going to tell a little bit, but teachers that sue school districts don't usually get hired by other school districts, right? That makes sense. So, they thought, because I have a lawyer friend that's a really good friend and a really good lawyer, and she was the president of the State Bar of Texas for a little while, and I really like her. But but anyway, I went to talk to her to get advice, right? So people thought that when I left, I would sue the school district, but I don't have any reason to sue the school district. They were kind of awful to me about being black, part black, but they were also awful to other people about similar things, and they didn't sue. So most people are very careful about their ability to work, and that's why I feel so bad about this, is that these people moved here to try to impact my ability to earn a living, even though they don't have anything to do with me surviving in retirement. But because I'm a woman, they think all I have to do is get married and I would be fine. And I don't have really any desire to tie myself to anybody. I like to do my own things. I don't like to have to ask permission before I do things, or have separate vacations, or stuff like that. I just like I like dating, I like having fun with people, but I don't like being around people that are very controlling. And some men and these guys have been so controlling that it's given them at least the impression that I don't like men, when that's ridiculous, No, I don't. So if any of this looks like malware, please let me know, because this thing I have to turn off 7 different ways for some reason.
Here are the voices you can pick for your Google Assistant. If you
Okay,
like
we
this
don't want
voice
that.
and want me to keep using,
I don't know what the heck. It's not that. Something is letting them get on my Filmora. I've changed the password for Filmora. I've done all
Make
of
that
these
choice
things,
because I
and this is
consider it to
not
be
what I
just as
recorded,
brave as
y'all.
being a police officer, like being the same.
And it just seems so mean-spirited too.
I don't know.
It's not it's my footage. It's not their footage. They just photoshopped a leash into my apartment. So I don't know why they would be acting this way. But let's see what I'm saying.
When I first moved to my town in Central Texas, it was a volunteer fire department, and I've always thought that those were really neat. But maybe there were some people there that didn't like my dad, because, like I said, he worked with an awful lot of people, and they would be about that age. My dad was born in 1930. Y'all, I'm old, but he was born in 1930. I was born when they were very old. Okay, so they were in their 40s when I was born, but he still was the age of a lot of the people that were retired people at that time in these professions. And it's possible that some of them might have been enlisted, and maybe they just didn't like officers. I'm not sure, but that's rare, y'all. It's really rare. It's not like the movies. And if you have any idea what it could be, just let me know.
Okay, so one thing to add to that is that the guy that lived next door to me and kitty across from him, the kitty corner guy is the guy that's driving all of this, it seems like. And his parents might have worked for my dad and been disgruntled. I don't know. My dad didn't make people disgruntled, but he literally had thousands of people working for him. So it's hard to know. He was the base commander in Korea. When he lived in Korea, he's always been kind of way up there, and he's had thousands and thousands of people saluting him and working for him, and he always was very respectful and kind to all of them. He'd have them over to everybody, enlisted officers, over to his house for parties. He was very much an everyman kind of person. He was in the Masons and I think I say this later, so forgive me if I repeat myself. But he was in the Masons. He was in the Lions Club. He was in the Optimists. He joined everything. He's a joiner. He was Presbyterian. He was Scientologist. He was like very much popular guy. Okay, and my mom raised me to be like that. My mom was like that. There's no chance that they were ever rude to anyone. My mom's an excellent tipper. My mom was very much the kind of person that people in the community would call at a moment's notice to do just about anything. And they were very, very happy living there. My dad married a woman. They lived not far away from us when they got divorced. And they were very happy together. Like all of them were happy. And my dad would come by and he died, but he kind of fake died, I think, is the way to put it. And or at least he married this woman without me knowing it, I guess, when I was little. But I knew her. She was a very popular realtor in the town. They were very happy together, and I didn't mind her being around. And she was very much a known factor. They had kids together when he was married with my mom, but they were all very okay with it. It was very like Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice kind of a thing. And I didn't know anything about it. They kept me out of all bad things. And I was very sheltered. I was not very sheltered, but I was always busy, I guess I would say. And I just didn't really notice, And her kids attended the base school, and I attended the public school because my parents wanted me to have a big school experience. And I was very happy to go to my Judson High School and do all of the things like football games and things that you can't really do on the base school. So it worked out very well.
Oh, so I just touched you and it turned off. That's not really right.
Okay. Oh my lord. I can't believe I put this in here again. But it should be... I'm trying not to have shorts. I don't want any shorts made of my creative works until I have at least... Until Snowman and I should say, have at least like 5,000 followers. I don't want to have shorts because you don't get money off of shorts. And I owe him the focus.
I think that they're trying to make it... I think they're trying to decrease the visuals on my videos for some reason. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a suppressed person thing or a crazy person thing that they're trying to do, or they're just mentally ill, but they seem to be like trying to make the videos less on, than they were. We don't know why, but they're like trying to reduce the viewing area on the videos. Like this was supposed to be like this, y'all. And instead it's very small. And there's supposed to be more pictures to look at than this, but they keep duplicating the frames. And I don't know why they're doing this. But it's not a radio show, y'all. We're a podcast, and I like to be on camera, so I'm not really worried about it, okay?
Focus on making revenue.
Now, I should say that my old school
to do our best.
My old school really traumatized me about being on camera because they didn't love the idea. Not all of them love the idea of black teachers. And so they didn't really want me to be like representing the school necessarily in a lot of things. But then they did want me to represent the school in a lot of things. I ended up with kind of a complex about having my picture taken. And it took me about 10 years to get over it. But it was very damaging to my psyche. But I do like now, trying to get used to myself on camera.
Best, So I'm hoping this brings a little bit of attention to our channel and also brings attention to the to the whatever's going on, so that if something happens to me, people know about it. That's really my only goal, because I could have died. I mean, I really came very close to dying, even though you don't think so, but I really could have. I mean, I could have. And it would have been any different, and I could never have told my story. And when I looked into my attacker's face, I was looking at the face of someone I knew from the man that lived next door to me in my old town. It's literally 400 miles away from me. That's crazy, y'all. Well, 300. But still, that's crazy, y'all. I don't even really know him. But I used to go, I took a man back to help me with storage, to move my storage truck that I talked about before. And that guy stood behind my chair so I could smell his cologne and like feel him breathing on me, and stood there for an hour and a half while I ate my food with this nice man that I was hoping to enjoy getting to know. And I don't know why he did that. I've never dated him. I don't have anything to do with him. He's kind of nutty. He's patriarchal. He's, like I said, Mexican Arab, and not the. He seems very nice and respectful to many people, but he broke a cat's back once by slamming the door on it on purpose. He threw the dog under the car that was his wife's puppy that she loved, and my daughter saw it right in front of my daughter, knowing that she was right there. It's very upsetting. And it's true that they were going through a tough time, like emotionally. It could have been transitional violence, whatever we call it, but it's not. When I looked into his face and saw how angry he was, I had no idea why he was mad. No, I had not the foggiest clue what he was doing there, why he was angry with me, how he got in. He had a key to my apartment, y'all. I mean, it's just terrifying. And I could have died right then. And that would have been the last face I saw. And also, I mean, I don't even know what else there's to say besides that. But I mean, my cat means a lot to me. He's a gift from my daughter. And he might not make it through all this with all these people. And I don't know what to do about that either, because I love him to death and he doesn't deserve any of this. He's eaten food with pesticide in it. He's eaten food with cayenne pepper in it. I've actually had to start putting a couple pieces of his food in my mouth just to make sure. Well, after all that, not now, but before I was doing that, just to make sure it was safe, because he would eat and then he would throw it up, or he would cry if his stomach hurt. And this is all like fresh food from Walmart, you know. So I don't know. He used to eat wet food cans, but people would come and eat them or take them, and I would come home and half of them would be gone. And so I started buying dry food for him, and he was a lot happier. When I went on vacation, he was fed dry food, and he loved it so much. I just kept getting it for him. I don't think it's best, but it makes him happy. And I can't believe people would do that to a cat, but they literally did. I mean, I'm not kidding. It smelled like pesticide, and it was in a sealed bag, like a, rolled up bag in the fridge. And the fridge is supposed to be like a canister, so. And the cayenne pepper was evident in the food. I didn't even have to check. You could smell it, and it was really strong. And I don't know why someone would do that to him, to try to hurt me. But evidently this is all typical stuff that people do when they don't like someone. But these are the same people, not new people, not the people that live here. And certainly not municipal employees, because why would they change municipalities just to...
Yeah, I don't know why I keep saying info, okay? There's no white page info about me in the town or anything like that. These people, they travel around wherever I move, and they try to bring all of this, like, info. And because when I was a teacher, they do, like, testing, and they send out white pages of, like, what you need to know, like a brief summary of things. And I hope that doesn't have anything to do with whites. I wasn't thinking it did have anything to do with that, but... So then these people heard about that from their wives who were teachers, or there's some aides involved in this and stuff, and they would hear about these white pages. So they decided to try to make a white page about me. So they would make white pages about me, and they would like hand them out on SD cards or word of mouth, CCC classes, like all this stuff was the rumor, right? I didn't have anything to do with these rumors, but because I was just raising my daughters as a single mom and I was oblivious to all this stuff. But other people would be like, "Oh my God, the things they're saying about you," and I was like, "Well, who could ever say anything bad about me?" But people do, y'all, and for some reason, a lot of it has to do with the single, not married thing. That women of a certain type of intellect don't like unmarried single women around their husbands, or at work with their husbands, or living with their husbands, or like not living with their husbands, but like living around their husbands. And some men don't like it either. They don't like watching women date, have sex lives, or whatever, around them without them being involved. And I didn't want to date any of these men. No offense. I mean, there's 7.5 billion people. There's probably like 3 billion men in the world, and I didn't want to date these 3. And this was not. I don't think it was a problem for C, as much as maybe a little uncomfortable. But it wasn't really a problem for him. But he hasn't been fair necessarily to me either. But the other guys were furious about it. And they kept trying to tell me that I was not behaving well. And that had to do with why my clothes kept getting removed and stuff like that. Not from my body, except for by this weird guy with a tank top. But, and y'all remember, if you see security video that tells you that that didn't happen, it's probably from the duplicate apartment, okay? Because they have an apartment. That's what's so scary. This is what terrifies Daisy, is that they could show you an empty apartment and say that nothing's happening, where I could be getting attacked in the other one. And you wouldn't know the difference if you didn't know what to look for. That's a big deal, y'all. So I don't know what these 2 apartments are for, but it doesn't make me real comfortable. Because like when I first got up and I was walking around, I had to, because I don't have my glasses on most of the time during the day, and I had to look around and be like, am I in my apartment? Like, because I had just woken up recently before that, and I used to be a drunk, and I'm used to blacking out when I drink, and I hadn't felt that way in a long time, but they did drug me, y'all, and so when I woke up, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't sleeping, in my car again, or like staggering through someone else's apartment or whatever, that I was actually in my apartment. So I verified immediately that all of this had taken place inside my apartment. There was evidence that someone had rolled out from underneath the table in my apartment. The camera was recording in my apartment. So don't worry. I mean, it really did happen to me. No matter what people say, it did happen. I have video proof. But still, it's a mess, y'all. And all of this switching things back and forth, they started acting like it was a big game. Like they can change my videos, and then I fix that, and then I have more content, and blah, blah, and now we're talking, and it's like we're conversing, and they think that we're doing this together, and she's trying to be all dramatic with her voiceovers and all this stuff. And I'm just shutting it all down because I don't want to have anything to do with anyone like that. There is no way to have a functional work relationship. I'm not undertaking a partnership on my podcast except for with Snowman. And that's only in the podcast part, not the YouTube channel part. So it's very, very, I'm being very specific about things because I don't like people that do business like the people here who are doing business with me. But if they turn that around, then I can think of, in the new administration, I can think of no better people. Okay? I just want to say that.
Bug me, so it doesn't make much sense. Anyway, I'm going to package this up and put this up on the thing, and hopefully it'll explain some things for you. But I don't want to go on and on and on. I just wanted to make sure I include all of the things, just in case, like I said, something happened to me, because these are people that they're violent to animals, so there's not a huge leap to being violent with people. But you can tell the difference. Like I have people I know that live close to me here in the apartment complex that their job is to be a knacker, but they're very humane. And I can tell the difference, between someone that's very humane and someone that's very dangerous. And these guys seem dangerous and volatile to me, although there probably aren't the people that like them. So I'm trying to be fair, but I just wanted to say that.